are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Boxing Fanatico Live, episode 88, as we continue our push all the way to episode 100. Let's go ahead and switch over real quick to my face. What is going on, everybody? Of course, we got to start it off with the man himself, the legend, Hashim47, with the Let's Go champ. And we got to christen the episode, as we always do, with a Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to rumble, Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let's get ready to rumble is right. Now, let's start off with you guys real quick. Anthony Murchison, what's going on, brother? The last 12 to 15 months has given us some of the best matchups ever. You are not lying. I see no lies being told here by B-Dub the Boss. You are correct. It's just banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. It doesn't stop. We just keep getting the best fights possible. I mean, if we get Canelo Benavidez next year, there isn't really anything else we're asking for. Maybe in a new way tank, something that we never thought we wanted. Maybe that's a possibility. Who knows, man? The sky is the limit because we've literally been getting every single fight possible. Adrian Doan, salute Fanatico. I would like to see this fight. Shows Ryan is always willing to fight the best. He is. 100% he is. I think this is more showing that Ryan is willing to fight the best when it comes to Devin Haney, even over a Tank Davis. A Tank Davis made financial sense. It was fun too, right? Because there was a dynamic between both of them. There was this kind of rivalry that's been brewing for years. And it finally came to a head when Ryan and Tank fought. So I think that was fun. That was good financially. But a Devin Haney fight, if he's fighting for the WBC belt, it's now he's starting to move on to getting the best of both worlds. A good financial fight, but it's also leaning into his his legacy as well, trying to win the WBC belt. That's an important thing. Prince, what's going on? I just hope everyone recognizes Ryan is the best available option for Haney right now. I truly believe that. I truly do believe that as well. We talked about it in our last Boxing Fanatical Live episode on Monday. We talked about it. We there was speculation that, we're seeing a lot of Tank and Haney going back and forth. But we talked about how really the fight that makes the most sense possible right now for Devin Haney is a Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney fight. That is the fight that makes 100% the most sense. Ryan Garcia is at 140. Devin Haney's at 140. They're both at 140, right? And then on top of that, they're both on DAZN right now. So it just makes all the sense in the world. It's an easy fight to put together. I can't see there being too much friction. when it comes to Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Lopez and Matias are fighting. Barboza is interested in Ryan. Tank didn't respond to the $20 million offer. Yeah. That Tank fight, man, that is more of a pipe dream than anything else. But I think that Tank has no choice. At some point, he's going to have to select one of those big guys. He already selected Ryan. So the Ryan fight won't really make too much sense. The luster for it is gone. Ryan isn't undefeated. Plus, we already saw what Tank would do against Ryan. So the luster for that fight is gone. He only really has the other guys. And I don't think that other than Lomachenko, Devin Haney, can he make more money, right? I think it's Lomachenko, then Devin Haney, then possibly Shakur Stevenson. Other than that, I don't see him making, a good amount, right? And he wants to keep himself as a cash cow, right? As the cash king, he's going to have to start fighting names. He's going to have to start having dance partners. He's going to have to actually start initiating the Floyd Mayweather strategy, which is fighting big names so that you can keep your financial momentum. ASAP TV, I downloaded Street Fighter 6, most likely gonna main DJ, need a lot of practice though. Actually, funny enough, I never played Street Fighter, I played Street Fighter 2, I didn't play any of the other Street Fighters, so when I first booted up Street Fighter 6, and I was looking at the characters, the one that caught my attention the most, the one that I was most interested in was DJ. I was really interested in DJ, and I played with DJ, actually. That was my first character for a little bit of time, for maybe a month or so. But then I realized he's too slow for me. He's too slow. I need a rush down character. I like characters where they're constantly on top of you. They're hitting you with combos and stuff. The combos are never ending. Those are the type of characters that I felt the most comfortable with. So then I quickly moved on. Plus, he's a charge character. I'm not really, I prefer the speed of motion input characters. Like if all I have to do is a quarter circle or double quarter circles, I prefer motion input characters. Although he's a hybrid, he has motion inputs and he has charge. The fact that he has charges at all is just something that, I don't. If I want to hit you with an anti-air, non a reversal kind of high super high drive, whatever move, I'd rather do it with a quarter circle as opposed to a charge down and go up. That's just my style. So he had too many cons for me. I moved on to Kimberly, and then Kimberly just had too many limitations, but she was my favorite. And then Rashid came out, and that's all she wrote. Rashid is everything I wanted in Kimberly, but all of the without any of the limitations. So now, Rashid is literally my number one. I would never switch from Rashid. I might have a pocket character later down the line, which I haven't found anybody in the roster that fits what I like, but I'm not moving on from Rashid. Why are you guys not popping up over here? Now I got to do this again. Let me see. Restore chat. See, pop out chat. Bring this bad boy back up. Here we go. All right. Now we're back in business. Inoue said becoming 6th division champion is not something he cares for. I don't think Tank versus Inoue is possible. I wonder why Inoue doesn't care to do those things. I'm wondering what's the hesitation, because a person like Inoue is a person like Inoue, you would think that he's so competitive that he wants to eclipse other people, right? He's about to become a 2-division undisputed champion, right? He's gonna join the group of just Terrence Crawford when it comes to the male division. When it comes to men boxing, it's just Terrence Crawford and Inoue. So what's the pause? Where does that come from? Where he's not even entertaining? I get it. Don't say that flat out you're gonna do it. But why is he not even entertaining that he's going to do it? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a weird thing. And he gave a lot of praise to Tank. I think he in an interview with Fight Hype, he said he can't believe that people do not have Tank on their pound for pound list. A lot of people like me, I don't have Tank in the pound for pound list. He believes that Tank is a special fighter. But I do think that when someone is popular, there is also these goggles that even fighters put on for another popular fighter, right? There are goggles that ESPN puts on, right? That Top Rank puts on, that Ring Magazine puts on, that all these companies put on. When there's a popular fighter, it's hard to not want to put the popular fighter that's famous in the top pound for pound. That's why when I put my pound for pound on Twitter, I put a caveat. I do not put people here because they are popular. Anyone can look spectacular against a bunch of people if you're not fighting the number one guys. If you're not fighting for a world title, you can look spectacular. It is much more impressive for me to see Teofimo Lopez look spectacular against Josh Taylor than it is for me to see Tank Davis look spectacular against a Rolly Romero or a Leo Santa Cruz, right? Is even though Leo Santa Cruz, he had his heyday, but he was past his heyday, and he was way below the weight. He had to go all the way up to meet with Tank Davis, so he was small. But even when you look at Tank Davis's fight, there's a lot of fights like the Leo Santa Cruz fight, like the Rolly Romero fight, where he's easily being tagged up the entire time. But then he pulls out a knockout win. So I'm not convinced, but because he looks so flashy and he's famous that he's pound for pound. Could he possibly be pound for pound? Yes. But the same way that people don't even afford this is the funny thing about boxing is that no matter what, like, bias is always going to be at the forefront of a lot of decisions that people make, right? The same people that want Tank on the list because of the eye test think that Shakur Stevenson, who has actually done more than Tank Davis, who has done more than Tank Davis, should not be up there because of the eye test. Don't forget that eye test, he hasn't proven himself. Who has he fought? But Tank Davis, the same people that think that would think that Tank Davis should be on the list because he looks so flashy, he looks so spectacular using the eye test. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. Just stay consistent. Stay consistent. I don't have Shakur Stevenson super high on the list, even though Shakur Stevenson is my favorite fighter, because I stay consistent. It's not just about the eye test. The eye test is part of the equation, but accomplishments is also another one, because I want to see if you could do those flashy things, those really good things, those smart things against top competition before I can put you on the list. So I'm not putting Tank, and I'm still refuse to put Tank. I don't care what company says, no, he should be on there, or what fighter, even Inoue, saying that Tank is the guy. I don't care, because to me, he needs to prove it, right? He needs to prove it in the ring. 6 divisions would be 130 for Inoue. He says he just wants to fight where he feels the most comfortable. Okay, well, hopefully one day that means going to 135, right? Hopefully it means going all the way up to 135. If he goes up, I mean, they can meet at 130, but if he goes up, I don't think Tank would afford him that leeway, right? Although, in a way, don't have to do anything anybody says, because he's a beast over there in Japan. One thing that can't happen though is that Tank can't weight drain. Anyway, that's an impossibility. That cannot happen because no matter what happens, if anything, Inoue would have to gain more weight to be able to fight with Tank Davis. But I would love to see him continue to go up, because after he fights Tapoulis, which is going to happen soon, I believe it's next week. After he fights Tapoulis, what is there for him to do at this division? He will be undisputed. Is he going to stay at the division? I feel like he should move up, fight Brandon Figueroa. That would be an amazing fight, right, to put together. And then maybe if he wants to be undisputed in that division, go ahead and try to be undisputed and be 3-time undisputed. But then after that, then what, right? you should move up one more division, go up to go up to 127 or 126. I always forget the exact number that one is. I think it's 127. And then test yourself, right? Test yourself because you're so good. Inoue is a rare breed. He's so good that we need to see him do Manny Pacquiao type stuff. He's to me, he's better than Manny Pacquiao in with the eye test alone, but he is not better than Manny Pacquiao overall because Manny Pacquiao has his accomplishments. But if he wants to be able to have that claim to fame of being better, he needs to move up. He needs to keep moving up, and he needs his Floyd Mayweather too, right? You need that guy, that person that will be opposite of you, that everyone wants to see, that everyone's salivating to see. Manny had that in Floyd, and Inoue could get that in Tank, but he has to start getting closer to the division, moving up. And hopefully if he fights and if, let's say, he wins, which I think that if he's comfortable at the weight, he has a good chance of beating Tank Davis. Let's say he wins that fight. Then he could start really eclipsing the legend of Manny Pacquiao because the dude is amazing, right? He's an amazing fighter. All right, let's see what you guys got to say. I skipped the ads just to get here on time. My bad. It's all good. Michael R. Davis, don't worry about it. You're here. That's the most important thing. Jumpman23, what's going on, brother? Inoue ducking boots. What? Yes, Inoue is ducking boots. But he's not only ducking boots, he's ducking Artur Beterbiev, and he's also ducking Tyson Fury. So I don't know what's going on with that guy. I don't know that I believe that Inoue has zero interest in that. I know there's some stuff in Japanese culture where they really don't like to say stuff that come off as arrogant. Okay. I'm hoping that that's the case. That's why when I'm reading this, right, and when I'm seeing him say that, right, I watched the Fight Hype interview. It's like, why though? Why say that so prematurely? Why even talk that way? But maybe it's because that's the culture, right? That's how. And he's like embedded in Japanese culture. It's not like he's from Japan and he resides in the United States. He's embedded and he's a superstar over there, right? Sells out the coliseums, whatever. He's a superstar over there. So it's not like, like to me, it's just when I hear it, I'm thinking of it in the way that I, look at all the other fighters. Like, why would you even position yourself in that way to say something like that? But you don't even leave the door open, right? Because most fighters always leave the door open, so there's always hope, right? I've not ever really seen a fighter say, nah, I'm not going to do that. It's very rare that they say that. They always say stuff like, you never know what can happen. Got to talk to my team. Got to see what makes sense. If it makes money, it makes sense. They say all these different things, right? And the door is always cracked open. It's always cracked open, and it's also like a political way to keep you interested in the fighter, right? So it's a little scheme that keeps you interested. What's going to happen next? It keeps you invested in the story arc of that fighter. Inoue don't care about none of that. Inoue just stay saying, nah, I don't want to do that. Nah, I don't want to fight Tank. It's like, Inoue, you're not making us have fun with this, bro. Like, you're just killing us the conversation mad early without even leaving a crack open, like the door cracked open. You just shutting the door and locking it. Come on, anyway, you could say something to the effect of, listen, right now I'm trying to become undisputed and that's all I'm focusing on. That's it. That's it. If you said you trying to become 2-division undisputed and that's all you focusing on, we would take that and it'll be okay. But you be making sure you putting your foot forward to close that door, to close even the thoughts that you would fight Tank or even entertain it. So I don't like that. But maybe it is a culture difference that we're used to the fighters that are here in the United States and they're always leaving the door open. Inoue just seems to not be one of those type of guys. How is Tank gonna drain Inoue? Yeah, who said that Tank was gonna drain Inoue? By the way, I saw somebody who said that. Who said that? I don't know. I can't find it, but yeah, he can't drain him. It's impossible. The Loma fight at 130 is there. The Loma fight at 130 for Tank or for Inoue? At 130, is that a thing? Inoue versus Figueroa would be a dope fight, but I think in the way schools him, Loma will be sick. Oh yeah, I don't think that he needs to fight Figueroa because it's a 50-50 or anything like that. I just think that just adds to his legacy. That's just that because Figueroa is the guy that's leading in that division. He's the number one. I don't think he's gonna jump away from the division. So he moves into the division, fights Brandon Figueroa just to get that fight under his belt. I do think Inoue is able to beat him, and then he moves up to he moves up another division and goes after those guys there. So right now, if he was to move up after the top of this fight, I think Brandon Figueroa is probably the best choice in that division. Robsay Ramirez or Robsay Ramirez, the guy that won the gold medal in the Olympics, a two-time gold medalist in the Olympics, the guy who beat Shakur Stevenson in the Olympics. He's had a bad run, man. He lost earlier in his career and he just lost again. He's had a really bad run, so there's not anything special if he fights Robsay Ramirez. I think it's better if he just goes up and fights Brandon Figueroa. Prince, I know this is off topic, but that Boxers Road to Sugar Ray Leonard, Raymond Leonard, whooped me so bad, man. I had to duck the rematch. Went on to win every middleweight belt outside of the IBF since he was there. Chill, bro. You can't. First of all, I think that's fire. I do think that he is. I do believe that he is a clone of Sugar Ray Leonard. Like, I think that character is a Sugar Ray Leonard clone with his own stats that are consistent across the game, right? So you're probably playing. That's probably the Ray Leonard that I fought, right? It's probably the same Layman Ray or whatever, Ray Layman Nard. It's probably the same guy stat-wise and the way he fights and his algorithm in terms of his IQ, the way they set up his IQ in the game. So you can see how difficult the man is. And just for content, because when I first fought him, it was for my title. He didn't have a title. He was fighting for my title, and I was cleaning house. And we fought to a draw, and he wanted a rematch. And I gave him the rematch because I wanted to clean up the draw, but it was so hard. He is so difficult. That man is difficult. No matter how, like, you know what I'm saying? What I did, he was figuring it out, and he hit super hard. So you always have to be mega worried that he was going to drop you and start winning on the scorecards from knockdowns. It's fun, but it ain't fun at the same time. So yeah, trust me, man. That's probably the same Ray Leonard in terms of how it works with the way the algorithm is allocated towards the fighters. He probably has like a specific algorithm thing, IQ that is consistent across all of the games, across even your game and my game. Might be the only fight I see Loma in where he wasn't smaller. LOL. I know. And imagine he's not the smaller guy, because that's also a thing people always say. Loma's so small. He's really skilled, but he's so small. People use that excuse all the time. But it looks like Loma and Kambosos in Australia is a go. It looks like that's a green light. The good thing about that fight is that it is a WBC eliminator, so they are purposely fighting to be the number one contender to Shakur Stevenson's WBC belt. So whoever wins that fight will then fight Shakur Stevenson. Granted that Shakur Stevenson is still champion, which I believe he will be. Hopefully he doesn't get stripped or anything like that. But they will be fighting Shakur Stevenson for the WBC belt, which will be amazing. I'm expecting Lomachenko to beat Kambosos, and then for Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson to finally get it on, and that could definitely increase Shakur Stevenson's stock. He would definitely 100% move up in the pound for pound list, on my list, if he was to beat Lomachenko. And if he beats Lomachenko better than T.O. did and better than Haney did, then he's definitely going to be up there. He's going to be up there in the pound for pound list for sure. Um, was it streamed just in time for break in finals? LOL. What you? Oh wait, there's a finals going on right now. I didn't even know. Never mind. By the time he be there, Loma will be like 39. Yeah, I mean Loma. The thing is with Loma, you can't really look at Loma like you look at every other fighter. He started his career late, so his wear and tear is not really. He doesn't have that much wear and tear, so he could still be 39 and still be doing. He still be alright. He's not gonna be the best, but he'd be alright. Remember, he's not. He started super late. I think he started in his 30s when he started becoming pro. And amateurs is not like pro, right? There's not much wear and tear in the amateurs. There's only 3 rounds every fight. He had a stellar amateur record, so that means he wasn't really getting beat up that much as well. And people don't go for knockouts really in the amateurs. It's all about the point system. So wear and tear is really low on him, and really the age is almost more dictated by the wear and tear than it is by the age itself. People like Pernell Whitaker, you can see that he was still good because he was able to make people miss. He was still good later in his career. And people like Floyd Mayweather, for example, he was older, but he still was sharp because he didn't have much wear and tear in the sport itself. He wasn't hit that much. So wear and tear is... Being older is because it's also connected to the amount of wear and tear that you have. If you can mitigate the amount of wear and tear, and there's no better way to mitigate it than to start old, right? Like that means you didn't really you wasn't hit for years and years upon years, right? As opposed to somebody who started when they were 18, for example, and now they're going to be 39. It's a different story. So he should be okay. I wouldn't say he's like perfect, but he'll be all right. Who do you actually think wins the Tank versus Haney fight? It's tough. I'm not going to front. It's tough. I'm going to say that Haney will win right now, tentatively. Not an official prediction, by the way. Not official. But I will say that Haney would win tentatively because, Haney has proven that he could be in there with the top guys. He proves that he doesn't fold under pressure. He proves that he doesn't fold under the lights, although Tank Davis's lights are pretty bright. And I don't think that Devin Haney has ever experienced lights that bright, right? There's a different feeling when you're in a super mega fight that a bunch of people are gonna watch, right? That buzz is real different. The weigh-ins is real different. It starts to get to them psychologically. But he seems to be a cool, calm, collected type dude, and I'm expecting him to be cool, calm, collected. I think he has a good enough experience to be able to go in there and maybe outbox Tank. Does he have enough power to hold Tank back? I don't know, because here's the whole Sonny Edwards versus Bam Bam Rodriguez situation. Bam Bam Rodriguez isn't unlike Tank in the way that he's a good boxer, puncher, right? Tank is a little bit more slick with his movement style, but they're both kind of boxer punchers, and Sonny Edwards is that back foot boxer that's super intelligent and but doesn't have the super mega power, right? So I'm wondering how would Haney be able to deal with Tank when it comes to keeping him back, keeping him from moving forward. Maybe Haney has power that we didn't expect him to have because of the fact that he dropped and rocked forgot his name already. Dropped and rocked Regis Prograis, right? But just because he dropped and rocked them, we also see his temperament when he drops and rocks people. He's not really a go after them type of guy. He's a stay patient type of guy. Is that going to come back to haunt him by giving any opportunity for Tank Davis to at one point land his big shot? Because the dangers of doing that is that the big shot, if you don't take them out right there when you have the opportunity, maybe you rock them in the 4th, but they get you out of there in the 8th because they got the power to do that. Tank has the power to do that. The fact that Tank has knocked out all these different types of people show that Tank is he's a knockout artist, right? So it's going to be very telling when we actually see them fight. But right now, because of who he's fought, I'm going to lean with Devin Haney. But we've just seen, as I said, with Sonny Edwards and Bam Bam, that boxing off the back foot, if you don't got power behind the punches at least to keep people at bay, it's going to be pretty difficult. It's going to be pretty difficult. Let's see. Robesi. There we go. Robesi Ramirez. That's how it. Robesi. Robesi Ramirez. I always have trouble saying his name. Now that Devin and Ryan got the spotlight, it's time to have a stacked undercard, like 3 or 4 championship fights on the same card. Give fans our money's worth. It's a new day. Tried boxing, played basketball. Yo, stacked cards is where it's at, man. I love me a good stacked card where everything from top to bottom is just clean. Like we're you know, it's a fun experience. The Day of Reckoning card this Saturday is gonna be fun, super fun, because we're gonna see Wilder, then we're gonna see Anthony Joshua, we're also gonna see Bivol. It's just gonna be a really fun overall experience from top to bottom. So I hope that they continue to do things like that moving forward. And it's the Zone that's putting a card like Day of Reckoning together, right? Even though really is more Riyadh Season doing it. But the Zone, you know, they're the ones covering it, right? They're covering it. So, hey, listen, man. Hopefully we move on to people making sure you get your money's worth. Look at the UFC's business model. Replicate the things that have been working for them, and I think stack cards is one of those things that have been working for them. We need to start doing that as well here with boxing. I see more and more videos of victorious boxers would love someone to take on a full translation mod. Yes, man, yes. I seen somebody said that he was going to do a graphics mod, but he recently hit me back up and said that it seems to be a very difficult task. He wanted to improve all of the graphics across the board, and so everything looks like more high def. And I was super excited. I'm like, yo, let me know when you do that, because boxers roll with high def graphics. Like I don't know. I think that's a real powerful thing. But also, you know, full translation mod. That's just going to be amazing, right? And it's not hard to do, right? It's not hard to do. It's just have an internal system detect the words and then translate all of the possible words that can be said going through the code or whatever. So I don't think it would be a hard thing, but if somebody did that, I think it opens up the door for a lot of people to play it without so much trouble. I mean, honestly, it's an easy game to play after. All you got to do is use the Google app on your phone. You just point it at the screen and it translates the words into English. But also over time, you start to know what all of the words say. I got to a point where most of the words that I saw there, I knew what they meant. I knew what the United States meant when I saw it, what Japan meant. So whenever they were like, oh, you want to fly to a different country, to live in a different country, I knew all the countries that they were saying in that list. I know what they're saying when I'm in the corner, because that's repeated a lot. A lot of the stuff that my manager is saying, they're repeated. So I already know what they're saying. It's not that I'm reading it. It's just that I checked it so many times. I have what they're saying memorized. Only when I get like some weird new thing is when I pull out my phone. But that doesn't happen to me much because I've gone through the gamut in that game. So I think I've done like 2 careers already, 2 full careers on that game. Bro, I noticed 2 things. Over the years, his looks change. 2, he auto dodges my jab and cross. I got put out in 3. Okay, he auto jabs, that dodges. Yeah, that's the thing. He's too good. You have to angle him. That is the best way. Listen, I'm giving you tips to get to a draw, right? Because beating him is a different ball game, right? That's a whole different ball game. But tips to a draw is you got to angle him. You got to put him at an angle, because when you put him at an angle, it's harder for him to block, because he has that style where his hand is in the way all the time. So your hands are hitting, because of the physics system, your hands are hitting his hands. So he's like this, and you're just hitting his hands. If you angle him, and you're constantly angling him, then you can actually get Ray Leonard out of there. But it's cool that you have him with his hair. He grew his hair, while with he was bald. But he's the same face and I'm sure it's the same style as well. Topola is gonna shock the world with his viral highlight knockout of by Inoue. The knockout by Inoue. He's gonna posterize himself by fighting Inoue and getting knocked out. Agreed on the wear and tear, Fanatico. It's like an MMA where the training alone adds tons of miles on their bodies is still a factor, but not near as much as in boxing. Yeah, in boxing is really big. Wear and tear is really big in boxing. Oh, yeah, I didn't get to join the stream to say RIP to the streak. It was my first thought when I heard Bam beat Sonny. Yeah, man, the streak is over, man. The streak is over. We did 13 fights predicted in a row, and I think that is incredibly impressive, especially in this landscape. And we had a bunch of 50-50 fights in there. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good run. But we're gonna try to get back onto another streak. We're gonna try to eclipse that streak, even though that streak is super hard to eclipse. But we're pretty accurate with our predictions here on Boxing Fanatical. So I think it's not impossible to do it. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I was super confident in picking Bam, but didn't know if he would be by unanimous decision, KO, TKO. I didn't think Sonny would be as stuck in the mud as he was. See, the thing is, the way Sonny fought in the first round and the third round and the fourth round, to me, showed that he had the ability to try to outbox Bam Bam. But he fought Bam Bam's fight. He stood right there. Later, he said that, his eye, he couldn't see. He was seeing double. He didn't know when Bam was punching or when he was in range. So he just decided to go ham against him in the middle of the ring or whatever, in the center. Which, okay. I guess that's the reason why that he fought that way. But if he was to fight the way he was fighting round 1 and round 3 and 4, I think he would have had a much better going of it. He was doing really smart check punches. He was really confusing Bam Bam by switching stance. But Bam Bam just, he cracked him to a point where he couldn't see well, and that was all she wrote. He wasn't able to adjust or change or do anything after that, so he ended up losing the fight. Stacked cards is why the UFC does so well most of the time. Yes, plus the UFC controls everything too, right? It's like the NBA, and to a lot of people, they see the UFC as the official league. Everything else is like, oh, can that guy make it to the UFC one day? Like, that's how they see it. So other MMA companies, they're just playing catch up. Nobody, like, people look at the UFC as the Super Bowl of MMA. So basically, it's like they have they have a monopoly on the MMA scene. All the top guys are going to fight each other because they have no choice but to fight each other. That pay-per-view was too damn expensive, though. Which pay-per-view? The UFC pay-per-view? How much was it? How much was the UFC pay-per-view? Yeah, Victorious Boxes, after I memorized the menus, it was smooth sailing. Very fun game. Yeah. Once you memorize the menu, that's it. It's a fun game. It's a game that you can't, like the career mode is just unbelievable in that game. The fact that even, like, you see how we're talking about Ray Leonard, like how much emphasis they put on it. Like, there's a specific made up person that is supposed to be like a real person, or he's supposed to be a clone of the real person, or he's inspired by a real person, and then he's difficult, and everybody has trouble with him, and everybody has the same story of meeting up with him, and he's a difficult guy, whatever. That's them putting a lot of care and love into their career mode, and like the stuff that you could do is just amazing to me. It's just incredible. To me, that game was so ahead of its time. It's a tragedy that I didn't get to play it as a kid when it came out back in 2007. Well, technically I wasn't a kid, but still, back in 2007, when it came out, I would love to have played that game. If I knew, I was playing boxing games back then, but the only thing we even knew really about was Fight Night. Fight Night was everything back then. right? It was all about fight night, all about fight night, all about fight night. So, I mean, imagine that game was in 2007 and Fight Night 2004 was in 2004. Look, that was only 3 years removed from Fight Night 2004. If I would have known that game existed, the way the gameplay is and the angling and all that stuff, I feel robbed from experiencing that back then. And it was a PSP game, so it would have been even more fun because it had the whole link cable, and the guy that you used in your career is basically like Pokemon. You build that, the stats you put on that dude, the way you take care of that dude throughout the entire career, you could use that same guy and go against your friend who's been building their guy in career. And you could fight his career guy versus your career guy and go in a PSP link cable fight. Like, that's crazy. I never got to experience that. The people in Japan was able to experience that. They never released it for the United States. I would have loved for them to release something like that here and give it good marketing. Because even, I think, Victorious Boxers released in the U.S., and I never heard of it. I never heard of Victorious Boxers until recently, like in 2020 was when I first heard about Victorious Boxers. So it's actually kind of crazy to me that those games in that design I never got to play as a kid, and I'm in love with those games now as an adult. So imagine if I like them now after, you know, we've gotten to the modern times of video games. Imagine how much I would have loved that game back then. When it was, that game was ahead of its time. The career mode would have just, my mind would have blown. My mind would have blew up for just the career mode alone. Same with Boxers Road. Only thing that trips me up is I click through them so fast. Sometimes I end up in a hard tournament. Yeah, stop clicking through. Stop clicking through them, bro. You have to look at the. You have to look at what they're saying. At one point, you'll know. Oh, this is him telling me to go in the tournament. This is like, you'll know what they're saying because you see it so much. But don't, use the Google app so that it could translate it for you. That way, you could learn what they're talking about. And you could also see what's important and what's not important. Like when the sparring partners talk to me, I don't really care to use it because I know that they're just telling me stuff like, "Oh, you're improving," or "I'm improving." I know if I'm improving or if I'm doing good because I beat you up in the sparring session. That's how I look at it. Wilder getting stopped this weekend. All right, so the Casanova pugilist is just saying everything that's counter to culture. He's just counter culturing this whole thing. My man came in here talking about Inoue versus Boots. Now he's talking about Wilder getting stopped by Joseph Parker. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Joseph Parker was knocked out by what's this dude's name? What's the dude's name that used to have the iron chin? Forgot his name. But that dude knocked him out. And if he knocked him out, dude, what do you think one of the dudes with the best right hands possibly in the history of the sport is gonna do to Joseph Parker? What do you think is gonna happen? He's going night night. He's gonna go night night. He's going to go night-night. If anything, the Otto Wallin fight is more of a fight that could be a toss-up than anything else, than the Wilder fight. I mean, Wilder put Ortiz, knocked Ortiz out twice. Ortiz. That dude is skilled. Gold medalist. Put him out twice. The first time you think it's a fluke. The second time, it ain't a fluke. This dude he just needs to land it once. He needs to land it once and it's over. I see people talking about Wallin, but I like Joseph's chances against Wilder more than I do Wallin's against AJ. Bro, Joseph has been dropped. I'm telling you, if anybody ever dropped you, then Wilder is going to be lights out. If anybody ever dropped you once, then with Wilder is going to be lights out. with Wilder is going to be lights out. The only person to supersede and overcome that was Tyson Fury. And he went through hell and back to pull that off. He went through hell and back to pull that off. Man, I forget the name of I wish I knew the name of the person, man. Man, I forgot it's killing me, so I gotta find out. Like, the name is just escaping me. Joseph Parker. Joe Joyce. There we go. Joe Joyce. He got knocked out by Joe Joyce. Slow punching Joe Joyce. You think that the dude, he not gonna knock? Come on now. He gonna knock him out, man. So it's gonna be a wrap. It's gonna be a wrap. I need a new fight night announcement ASAP. Who's the person that was saying, somebody was in here yesterday. By the way, I was doing talk boxing and play video games yesterday. If you missed it, we were live. I was playing Street Fighter. Master rank, you already know, we master rank in there. We trying to get our master rank MR up to a high number. But as I was playing, somebody said that Fight Night Round 3 is coming back to Xbox Marketplace and with online enabled, so you can play online again. So they're gonna reopen the Jumpman 23. All right, Jumpman, that was you. Okay, I'm trying to find where is this information? Can you send me a link to this information? Because I was trying to find it everywhere. I did not see Insignia, Fight Night Round 3. Like, I didn't see any of that stuff. And I hope that it's true, because I want it to be true. I want to be able to play Fight Night Round 3 online, and I want to do it while being live. I want to play live and you know, and do it during our talk boxing, play video games live show. Hold on. No, I think. Hold on one second. Let me just double check. ASAP TV. Jumpman stated that they're not like they're not doing like an HD version or anything. They're just letting you go into the, you know how you could play Fight Night on Xbox One and Xbox Series X or whatever. You're gonna be able to play Fight Night Round 3 according to Jumpman. Because I've not found that information. I've been trying to look for it. But according to Jumpman, you could play Fight Night Round 3, and they're going to open the servers back up through a company, I think he said, called Insignia. So then you could also play online. If that is true, my prayers have been answered, and I will be playing that game nonstop, because I was a beast in Fight Night Round 3. I was a beast in Fight Night Round 3. Like, I'm not going to front. I was a beast in that game, and it was one of my favorite games because the jab was really, really good. James Toney was my favorite in that game. So, you know, we'll see. Hold up. Let's see what he said. Hold on. Let's see what he said. Nah, bro. Look, Insignia is a replacement for the OG Xbox Online servers. Oh, look, Insignia. That got shut down back in 2010, and they just recently brought it back. But there are custom servers that have been implemented. Okay, so this is confusing me, bro. So is Fight Night Round 3 going to be on the Xbox One or Xbox Series XS marketplace? Yes or no? If the answer is no, then how will we be able to play it? I'm very interested. Is it gonna be through through PC? Are we gonna have to use the PC? Because I have everything I need, right? I have a PC here. I could play the game on my PC if I have to. That's no load off of my back. I could do that if I have to. I'll be all right. But I want to know, what is it going to do exactly? Because I also want a larger pool of people playing it. If it comes out, if it re-releases in a way, the same way Fight Night did, where it's backwards compatible. If it becomes backwards compatible and you can get it from the marketplace, then I think that would be opens a bunch of people up to playing that game. And then we can have a large pool of people playing Fight Night Round 3. So I would love for it to open up. on Xbox. So is it going to be on Xbox? Or is it going to just be like on PC and then we're going to get this Insignia replacement for the OG Xbox Online servers. So was Insignia the thing that was controlling the Fight Night Round 3 servers? I thought Fight Night Round 3 had their own servers. Well, not Insignia, but was the old online servers just like when somebody put a game and you played it online, did it have nothing to do with the development team and it had everything to just do with the Xbox Online on its own? That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting take. That it's just like Xbox Online was doing its own thing. I'm on PS5 and we don't have anything for boxing. Yeah, but no, it's this is only an Xbox thing. Hold on. What is he saying? No, bro. EA controlled the Fight Night Round 3 servers. Okay, so I'm so confused, Jumpman. You're confusing me, Jumpman. I don't know what you're saying. I want to play Fight Night Round 3, but I don't know what you're telling me. I want to play so bad, but I don't know what you're telling me. Right, LOL. All the PS5 get is that Creed VR game. Shaking my head. We need a boxing game. No, and also you get Creed Rumble Creed. That's also a game that you could play if you want to play it. But to call that a boxing game is a stretch. I would say that it's more of a fighting game. It's a fighting game with boxing gloves with a coat of paint of boxing on it. But it is the only game where you could play with Andre Ward. He's in Big Rumble Boxing 3. Wait, that's the first one. Big Rumble Boxing Creed. He's in that game. That is actually one of the worst names ever, man. That's a harder name to say than Boxer's Road to the Real. Big Creed Rumble Boxing. Rumble Creed, I don't know in what order it goes because the name is too long. All right, hold on. My man's telling me something. You can look up Insignia Xbox Live on YouTube and you can see what it actually is. You can join their Discord server to get more information. Okay. I get it, Jumpman. Insignia is going to open up the Xbox Live servers from the old servers. And they're going to allow for, I guess, old games to be played. But how is Fight Night Round 3 going to be playable? Because Fight Night Round 3 is currently not backwards compatible on Xbox. Will it be backwards compatible on Xbox? Or are we going to need to play it on PC and then we just have the Insignia do the thing to connect us on the internet, online? That is my question, Jumpman. Can you answer that, please? I'm definitely going to check it out after this, but I was trying to look for it in the normal way where it's like it would be on Xbox Marketplace, so there'll be some type of news on it being on Xbox Marketplace, but it wasn't. Let me see here. Big Baby Miller doomed to get KO'd. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Somebody, he's built like a heavyset lesbian. Big Baby Miller. That's messed up. Why they gotta say that about that, man? I might get an Oculus just to play Thrill of the Fight. You haven't played that game yet? Thrill of the Fight is the best VR boxing game ever made, bar none. All the other VR boxing games, they don't get it. They think that it's some fun kind of fantastical, ooh, you're in this fantasy of like anything could happen and oh, you look like you're getting knocked out, so you better put your hands like this so you get up and look, it's like your soul is getting sucked out of your body, but now you're back and oh, look, your stamina, now you're throwing, now your punches hurt, like you're not, you can't throw that good. Even if you're trying to throw OD punches right now, it won't come out because your stamina. They didn't get it. They try to take video games, like boxing video games, and just throw it into VR boxing, but you can't do that Because once you step into the realm of VR boxing, you're actually boxing in a sense. You're actually moving your body. So Thrill of the Fight, they understood. They said, stamina? Get that out of here. You have your own stamina. You're gonna get tired if you keep throwing punches. And at some point you do get tired. It is a workout. There are times when you are dying playing Thrill of the Fight. Trust me, I've done 12 rounds, 3 minutes each on Thrill of the Fight, and those things are no joke. You're like, yo, oh my God. And the other dude is still throwing, and you still gotta somehow get away from his punches and somehow try to get him out of there. And then you give out so much of your energy to try to get a knockout, and then you don't get the knockout. It's demoralizing, and now you're drained of energy, and it's your own true stamina. Not to mention, they use room scale. So they measure whatever you measured out as your room, that the space where you can move in, because you have to draw out your room scale. They use that as your space to be able to move. So it isn't like an analog stick where you move your fighter. No, you're walking, and that is how you're moving your fighter. You're actually walking and moving to the left and moving to the right and moving back with your own feet. So your movement is even natural. So you don't even get nauseous because everything is checks out. Your movement is with your feet within the room scale, and then your head movement, everything checks out. So it's, while all the other games, for example, Creed, you move with the analog. Like, come on, bro, you're floating. It's not good. It's not good. And with me, with VR, if I move with an analog, I start to get nauseous. That's why Thrill of the Fight, it was easy to play, because it's not just the fact that it was really kind of rooted in realistic boxing. It was also your feet move your body. Your feet move where you're gonna go. All right, let me see what you guys are saying right here. Hold on. It's not going to be backwards compatible on any other Xbox console or the marketplace. You have to have the original Xbox console, or you can download the original Xbox emulator. Okay, now we understand. Now I understand. I'm definitely gonna research this after this video, or after we go off the air. I'm gonna go ahead and research this. It's crazy. That's crazy. That sounds crazy. But the pool of people is gonna definitely be. It's gonna be a lot less. I wish it could have been backwards compatible on Xbox, come out on Xbox. But now I understand what you're saying. It's just another company that's going to allow for online to happen. So I get what you're saying now. I get what you're saying. But it's gonna be sad. Xbox, on any other Xbox console, you have to have the original Xbox console. Is this Xbox the original one, or is this Xbox 360? Is this Xbox 360 or Xbox, the original Xbox? Because this is two different games. There's two different games. How come Xbox has access to old Fight Night games but not PlayStation? Well, Xbox only has access to Fight Night Champion, and it's because they made it available for backwards compatibility. So that's the only reason. PlayStation did not make it available for backwards compatibility, but they did have Fight Night Champion. I don't know. Maybe there was a deal that was made for Fight Night Champion with Xbox for it to be backwards compatible for Xbox, but not for PlayStation. I don't know. Pataya flying under the radar, top 15 fighter in the world. If he moves up to heavyweight and stays below like 210, he's giving everyone problems. Well, let's see. Also, EA Games had custom servers, so the group has to find a way through the code that EA put in their games to access the online servers. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Man, that's going to be tough. I wonder, do those VR games really make you feel like you're fighting someone who could be a pro boxer? I don't think, because there are things that are limited. There's limitations to it, right? So you can't really, like the Philly shell is not that effective because it doesn't know where your arms are. It only knows where your gloves are. So it's actually a high guard is better suited. High guard, low guard, like high guard and protecting the body is better for protecting you because it's the gloves that are blocking. However, you could do it where, like I'm doing it, like when I play, I kind of use the Philly shell kind of like this. So the glove size is protecting my body, and this I use it to protect my face. but it's not exact. Plus, certain things don't make the fighter do anything. Like a feint doesn't really do anything. The fighter's still gonna kind of do what they want to do. So that also takes away from the element of a real fight. So if I'm feinting, the opponent is like just still fighting whatever. If it was online 1v1, oh my god, the game would be insane. I don't know how they would make that work. It would be crazy, right? It would be crazy to make that work. But if it was like that, then feinting may have then that could feel a little bit more realistic. But also the tactile feedback of punching somebody, you don't get that. You don't actually get that. And it's like a really light version. Actually, the best way I could describe it is it's creative shadow boxing. It's just shadow boxing without you having to create a mental visual of what's going on. Because when I shadow box, I'm visualizing what's happening. The person throwing a punch, me rolling under, me pivoting, me throwing a combination, me getting out of the way as they throw a punch, me paying attention to what they're doing. Then that's how I shadow box, because I'm mentally creating a visualization of the fight. With Thrill of the Fight, you don't have to do that. You're shadow boxing, but you actually have somebody throwing a punch and you're reacting to it, and you're not creating that in your mind. You're just reacting to it. So it's creative shadow boxing. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. But I'm definitely gonna check that thing out, man. Jump, man. I'm definitely checking it out. Isn't with Series X, those consoles doesn't have. Also, Insignia isn't compatible with the 360 or the Series X, because those consoles doesn't have all OG Xbox games compatible, and those consoles block connecting to the original Xbox servers. Okay. So the original Xbox. All right, so it's not going to be the super graphic ones, the super graphically enhanced version of Fight Night Round 3. But that's fine, because the one that I played, the Fight Night Round 3 that I played, was not the super high graphic one. It was the one that I was playing on my lives when we would play, is the one with with the old version. What's going on, ESBC champ? What's going on? We need more boxing games in general. Do they not know there's a market for it? Yeah, man. Listen, that's how it is. It's always been like that, Brett, man. It's always been like that when it comes to boxing. We always, in terms of the boxing video game community, for games, amount of volume of games, well, actually in the past it used to be much, much greater. Now it's all about the money and stuff, so we've gotten less games coming out than we did in the past. So, but that's something that since Fight Night Champion we've had to deal with. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. We talked about a bunch of things. We also talked about the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight, of course. But that fight, again, to reiterate, that one is in the making. Ryan Garcia's team has confirmed, as well as Ryan Garcia, that they've greenlit the communication between Devin Haney's team and Ryan Garcia's team to make that fight happen. Devin Haney retweeted it, quote tweeted it, and said this facts. So he's stated in the public space that they are in fact talking to make this fight happen. So, and they're both fighting on DAZN. So more likely than not, this is the most practical fight to make, the most logical fight to make. It's logical for both of them. Devin Haney wants to grow his star power. Ryan Garcia wants to grow, his legacy and his continue to fight the best fights, right? Since with Ryan Garcia, I think he's in a different space than everybody else. He's already kind of established himself as a star via social media. So now he's trying to do it on the other end, become a star in boxing itself. So let's see what happens. But more than likely, that is the next fight that we're going to get between Ryan for Ryan's next fight and for Devin Haney's next fight. And it's not even difficult because Ryan is comfortably at 140. I say comfortably, but he didn't make weight last time, but whatever. 140 is where he's at, and Devin Haney's at 140, so nobody got to worry about rehydration stuff. I'm sure Devin Haney doesn't care to do no rehydration stuff since that man ballooned up to 165 when he fought Regis Prograis. So I think he's okay with letting Ryan balloon up to as high as he wants to go when they come in at 140. So this is going to be a comfortable Ryan Garcia. So let's see what a comfortable Ryan Garcia does. Was it all excuses when people were talking about the rehydration clause with Tank Davis at 135, or is Ryan, was it true? Was it a true thing? Ryan was just not himself because he had to rehydrate. We're gonna see when he goes up against Devin Haney. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you for showing up. Remember, it's every week, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We go live for the Boxing Fanatico live show. We are on episode 88, and we're going to push to episode 100. Also, I got a lot of time in the next few weeks, or this week and the next week, because of work. Because I don't have to be at work for a decent amount of time. We got some time, right? We got some time. So we're going to probably be doing Let's Plays, live streams, where I'm calling it Let's Talk Boxing and Play Video Games. And I've been recently, I did it yesterday, but I think I'm probably going to do another episode and just keep on doing that. As long as you guys show up. Yesterday, you guys showed up. So we might, do that. And it's not specific to Street Fighter. It could be any game. I can't wait till this whole Fight Night Round 3 thing that Jumpman's talking about happens so that I can start playing that online. That's going to be really, really fun. All right. Anyways, until the next time, guys, thank you for showing up, and we will see you on Friday. Peace out, guys.